Okay, so today we will discuss about the next unit, so that is stability considerations in the active networks. Okay, stability consideration in the active network. So now what is actually stability? So let us take an amplifier. Okay, so at higher frequency, so that amplifier, so which will be having based on the microwave transistor. Okay, so that amplifier stability, so how it can be decided? So this amplifier stability, so the stability definition, it will be, so whenever there is a nominal characteristics, that is the amplifier should maintain, okay, maintain its effectiveness, that is the output whatever the amplifier produces, so that should maintain over a nominal characteristics. Okay, so nominal characteristics, so like whatever you take the temperature, so the changes in the temperature or the environmental changes, so it should not change its so output, so depending upon the whatever the input it is given and it is amplifying. So that is what the stability consideration. So now if you take the load condition, signal temperature, or even so the physical temperature or signal frequency, so all these should be so maintained, so with the nominal characteristics should be there, so then it should give proper output whenever we give the input. So that is what the stability, so it should maintain its effectiveness over the operating characteristic and nominal characteristics. Okay, so now if we consider here for the specifically for the amplifier, so the stability will be based on, so since we are dealing with in higher frequencies, this stability of an amplifier, okay, stability of an amplifier will be considered on based on S parameters. Okay, based on S parameters. So this is what so important. So the stability consideration or requirements for an amplifier with the known S parameters we will consider here. Okay, so now we will only discuss both based on source and load, that is the load which we are considering, the load condition and source condition. Based on that we will develop what is the stability condition. So let us take, so there is a source, okay, and there is a source impedance ZS, so and there is a transistor, microwave transistor, so which will be used to so amplify the signal, and there is a load. Okay, so now in order to get the proper output, so we need to have the output matching network and the input matching network, and also here there is a input matching network. So let us take this one as input matching network. So now once we done with input and output matching networks, so then corresponding, so the whatever the amplification which will happen so in this amplifier. Okay, now let us take, this is a two-port network where we have ZL, ZS, and this is the where we looking for the source side, and there we were looking for the from the load side. Okay, so now we have the, if I look at the reflections to the load, so we will be having gamma L. Now if I look at the, so the reflection to the source side, we will be having the gamma S. And if I look at so into the network, so this is from this side, we will be having gamma in, that is into the network. If I see what is the reflection, and from output side, so if I see, so there will be a output reflection coefficient, and this is the input reflection coefficient. And also we can see, so whenever I see here from the input side before the matching network, so there will be a input impedance, and here it will be a output impedance. So now if I take like this the network, two-port network, so now when this amplifier becomes unstable, Okay, so then, and where it will become stable. So what are the, so based on these S parameters, so we can decide upon in the Smith chart. So later we will see, so what are all the, so stable region and what are all the unstable region. Okay, so now whenever it becomes so unstable, so it may no longer it will work as a amplifier, but it will go on work as a oscillator. Okay, so that's why based on the input reflection coefficient and the output reflection coefficient, so and also the input matching network and output matching network, so the stability will be decided upon the, so the reflection coefficient which is at the source reflection coefficient and load reflection coefficient. So based on these values, we will going to design the stable network, or we will going to decide whether the given network is stable or not. Okay, so that is what we need to see, what values of gamma s and gamma l, so we will get the stability. And so whenever we have the input impedance and output impedance, so negative resistance, that is real part of this input and output impedance. So let us take the real part of Z in, if it is less than 1, so and also real part of output impedance which is less than 1. That means whenever the real part of this input impedance becomes negative, so less than 1 means it is negative. Okay, so whenever this will become negative, so then your input reflection coefficient, so that generally we know that gamma is nothing but Z minus Z naught divided by Z plus Z naught. Okay, so this is a reflection coefficient equation. So now if we have the real part, so that is the Z which is negative, that is less than 1, so then this numerator will high and the denominator compared to denominator, so because both will add together, because minus it will come here. So then what will happen, so your gamma, the input reflection coefficient, that is gamma in for this case, gamma in, so which will be greater than 1, and for this case the gamma out should be so greater than 1. So whenever the real value of these impedances becomes less than 1, then your reflection coefficients will go greater than 1. That means what? So whatever the reflected signal which is more the magnitude wise more greater than the whatever incident signal, that is what it is greater than 1 means. Okay, so now based on these conditions, so where gamma in, gamma out and gamma s and gamma l, so we will define the condition, that is conditions for stability. Okay, so now what are all the conditions for this stability? So based on the passive source or load impedance. Okay, so we are considering the, so both the source is passive, okay, and the load is also passive. So by considering source and load which is a passive conditions, so then we will define the stability conditions. So now what are all the stability conditions? So the first one is the unconditional stable. So what is this unconditional stability? So unconditional stability in the sense, so whenever we have input reflection coefficient which is less than 1 and also the output reflection coefficient which is less than 1 for all values, okay, so for all values of gamma s and gamma l. So this is what the unconditional stability. So now another case is there, that is conditionally stable. Okay, conditionally stable, or we can call it as potentially unstable case. Potentially unstable case. So now what is this condition? Again your gamma in is less than 1 and gamma out is less than 1. Not for all values, only for some particular values. Okay, only for some values of gamma s and gamma l. So this is what conditionally stable or potentially unstable. So these are the two conditions where we are going to get so the stability. So here some values only, it is a limited range of the values of gamma s and gamma l. Now in our earlier discussion, so where we have discussed the signal flow graph, we can represent the gamma in terms of S parameters. So that will be given by the equation S11 plus S12 S21 gamma L divided by 1 minus so S22 gamma L. So this is what the equation what we get from the signal flow graph. And similarly for gamma out, so which is equal to S22 plus S12 S21 gamma S divided by 1 minus S11 gamma S. So now this is what the condition that is the equation which we have arrived based on the S parameters using the signal flow graph for two-port network. Okay. Now if we take the special case, that is the transistor whatever we are taking. Okay. So if it is unilateral, so then we will get the condition that S12 equal to 0. So if I take the condition for transistor which is unilateral, so then it will become this parameter S12 will become 0. So then your input reflection coefficient and output reflection coefficient which will be always based upon the S11 and S22. Okay. So now for that, to get the unconditional stability for this unilateral transistor case, then we will going to get so the gamma in, so or we can have the S11 which should be less than 1. So whatever we have taken the unconditional stability, that is gamma in is less than 1 and gamma out is less than 1. So for the unilateral case, S12 will become 0, this term will become 0, so that we will going to get S11 which is less than 0 and gamma out which we can have S22 which is less than 1. So this is a condition for the unilateral transistor for unconditional stability. So now we based on this Smith chart we will going to get the stability circles. Okay, so those stability circles, so generally we will equate this one, so that is whatever the inequality sign is there, that is less than is there, so that if we equate it to 1, so then we will going to get the stable circles, that is stability circles. So that circles drawn on the Smith chart to decide whether it is where the stable region is and where the unstable region is. Okay, so that condition for that stable regions and unstable regions based on the gamma S and gamma L, so that will be given. So in terms of this equation where we are going to equate this one, the magnitude of this one to 1. Okay, so this will equal to 1, and similarly if I take the gamma out and equate it to so S22 plus S12 S21 gamma S divided by 1 minus S11 gamma S which is equal to 1. So now based on this condition, okay, so where gamma n equal to 1, we will find out what are the stability circles and how to draw it and all. So that stability circles whatever we will going to find out, so that we will call it as graphical solution. So we need to find out where is the stable region and where is the unstable region. So that is called as graphical solution of the stability. Okay, so this is a graphical solution for the stability criteria. So now what are all these graphical solution which we will going to say. So now for the gamma S and gamma L plane, so whatever we are considering, so we'll for this gamma S and gamma L plane, so we'll consider this gamma n equal to 1 and gamma out equal to 1. So we are considering this condition and we are drawing those circles. So where we'll get two circles, that is one is input stability circle, okay, and another one is output stability circle. Okay, so one is input stability circle and another one is output stability circle. So this is the graphical solution. We will see what this input stability and what is the output stability circle and how it is going to be drawn. Okay, so now these two stability circles, so they define the boundaries. So when we plot on the Smith chart, okay, so and these values where we intersect the Smith chart, so that decides the intersection of those circles will decide the stability and instability region. Okay, So now we can say, so how we can able to take this. So there is an equation which is gamma minus c which is equal to r. That is, so this is particularly which plane we are using, that is input plane or output plane. That is input side we are taking the reflection coefficient or output side. Okay. So for the particular stability circle, so we need to take whether it is gamma L or gamma S or gamma in and gamma out. Okay. So now for the output stability circle, we need to plot the stability circle based on the gamma L. For the input stability, we are plotting based on the gamma S, because so here you can see, so the gamma L is we are looking at the output side of the network, and gamma S we are looking into the input side of the network. So that's why the input stability circle is based on the gamma S, and output stability circle it is based on the gamma L. So now if we take the output stability circle, so now this output stability circle we are defining that, so we are assuming that the input reflection coefficient which is equal to 1. So based on this we are plotting the output stability circle, so where the stable region is. Okay. So for that output stability circle, so we need to take this equation, that is gamma L minus CL, which should be equal to RL. So now we'll going to find out what is CL and what is RL. So based on the S parameters values. So this CL is nothing but, since we are taking the output stability circle, so this will be equal to S22 minus delta S11 star, so all to the power of star. So this is what the equation for the center of the output stability circle. So this is a center point where we need to draw the circle. Okay. So now we need to find out what is RL, the radius. Okay. So that is S12, S1, S21, the magnitude, divided by DL magnitude. So now we are going to define what is delta and DL, that we don't know. Okay. So now that DL, which is nothing but, so S22 square, since we are taking the output stability circle, minus delta square. Okay. Now delta, which we can define it as S11, S12 minus S22 minus S12, S21. So this is what the values of CL, RL, DL and delta. Okay. So now based on these values, if I draw the stability circle, so let us take this as a gamma L plane. Okay. So this is a Smith chart. Okay. So now from the center of the Smith chart, we have to locate the center of the stability circle, that is output stability circle. So now somewhere here CL we are getting. Okay. So now based on this point, so we have to take some radius RL and we have to draw the circle. Okay. So now this is called as output stability circle. So this is output stability circle where we are assuming it as gamma n equal to 1. Okay. So now we have to decide whether where is the stable region and where is the unstable region. Okay. So now here the stable region is wherever gamma in, which is less than or equal to, so less than 1. So that is what we are considering here. So unconditional stability where we have gamma in is less than 1, okay, and gamma out is less than 1. So now for output stability we are taking gamma in is less than 1. So now if I take this as a gamma in equal to 1 circle, so wherever it is less than 1, so that defines the stable region. So the interaction of the Smith chart with this output stability circle, so wherever it is the region where two circles interacts, so that is what the stable region. And other part of the Smith chart which is called as unstable region. So now similarly, so we can take the input stability circle. Okay, so now we can take the input stability circle. So similar like we can draw, so for the gamma S plane, so that is gamma S minus CS which is equal to RS. So now we can define, so what is the CS, first the center of this input stability circle. So that is nothing but S11 minus S delta S22 star whole power complex conjugate. This is star is nothing but complex conjugate, and RS which is equal to, so S12 S21 so divided by DL, and this DS. So DS which is equal to again S11 square minus delta square, and again delta which will be same S11 S22 minus S12 S1 S21. Okay, so now if I draw again the Smith chart, okay, so again if I take the center CS and some RS radius, now if I draw the circle, this is the input stability circle. So where we are assuming for this gamma out should be equal to 1. Okay, so then we are having the unconditional stability where gamma out is less than 1. The region where gamma out is so less than 1, so that will be the stable region. So now other one is unstable region. So where we have the other part of the Smith chart which is there, that is the unstable region. Okay, so that is what, so input stability circle and output stability circle defines the stable region and unstable region. Okay, so any doubt in this? So if you have any doubt, you can ask. The finding out the stability and instability region. Okay, so now if I take the condition, so the special condition, if I take gamma L which is equal to 0. Okay, now if I take the condition, that is output side is matched. So if I want to get this gamma L equal to 0 means I have to match ZL with the Z0. This is the condition where I will get the gamma L equal to 0. So now if I do that gamma L equal to 0, so then observe in your equation, so this gamma in equation, so if I gamma L if becomes equal to 0, then your gamma in will be equal to S11. Okay, so then your gamma in will be equal to S11. Okay, so now if I want to get the condition for stability, so if I take the two conditions, that is S11 is less than 1 and S11 is greater than 1. So if I take the two conditions, okay, so where the stable regions will occur? So that is, so if I take this as a Smith chart, so where now your gamma L plane which is at the only center, the Smith chart which, so even the Smith chart it is there completely, but the plane which is gamma L, that is output side, which is only at the center of the Smith chart. Okay, so now if I draw the output stability circle, okay, so somewhere here CL and RL. Okay, so now for the condition S11 which is less than 1, so then what the stable region is? The stable region is where the Smith chart center which is there, that is this region, that is outside the, so this stability circle defines the stable region. So this is the stable region and this is unstable region. This is unstable and this is stable. Only for this particular case, that is where gamma L equal to 0. So whenever S11 is less than 1, so this is a stable region and this is an unstable region. Now if I take S11 greater than 1, okay, so then it will be so vice versa, that is this will become so unstable and this intersection point will become stable. Okay, so now similarly if I take the condition which is gamma S equal to 0, so where we have Zs which will be matched to Z0. Okay, so then your output, so equation, the output reflection coefficient will become equal to S22. Okay, so now we can take the condition S22 which is less than 1 and S22 which is greater than 1. Okay, so now that we can draw the again the condition, so where we have the gamma S plane and we have the input stability circle Cs and Rs. So now if I take this gamma s equal to 0, again if I S22 if I less than 1 case, so this center of the Smith chart where it is including, so this is a stable, and this region where it is interacting both the stability circle and Smith chart which is unstable. Okay, and vice versa for the S22 which is greater than 1 case. Okay, so that is what the case where we get gamma L equal to 0 and gamma S equal to 0, the stable and unstable region. So now based on this S11 which is less than 1 and S22 which is less than 1, so now we can define the stability conditions, that is for the unconditionally stable case. So where, so we will get the condition that, so both the stability circles like that input stability circle, okay, input stability circle and output stability circle. So if both are lie outside the Smith chart, then we can also said that it is unconditionally stable. So that is one possible thing. Or else, so the complete Smith chart, so the stability circle which so encloses completely Smith chart, that is this is the Smith chart and this is the stability circle, that is whether it is output or input stability circle. Okay, so either it both the circles which is outside the Smith chart, or so both the circle which encloses the Smith chart. So in those two cases, so we will going to get the unconditionally stable. Okay, so that is what, so where S22 which is less than 1 here, okay, and S11 which is less than 1. So because only less than 1 case we will going to get the center of the Smith chart which is stable region. So we will going to get, so if it is completely outside the circle, we will going to get the stable region, and here also if completely encloses the circle, so we will going to get the stable region. Okay, so that is what the stability conditions. Okay, so now this is the actual graphical solution of the stability criteria, where we will going to get stable and unstable region, and based on that we can define the amplifier stability, whether it is stable or not. So now we will going to get, so next one, that is analytical solution. So next solution is analytical solution of stability criteria. So these are all based on the mathematical equation. The analytical solution is based on the mathematical equations, so which are derived. So that mathematical equations we can tell that, so whether it is stable or unstable, the amplifier. So now based on the parameters which are given by the mathematical equation, based on the S parameters, we will going to design whether it is stable or not. So the mathematical equation, so there are 3 parameter test. So first they will introduce the 3 parameter test, so later they are come to 2 parameters, and later again it will leads to only single parameter test. Okay, so this 2 parameter test we can write it as K beta 1 test, and 1 parameter test which is mu test, and this one is K beta 1 delta test. So these are the 3 parameter we will going to test in 3 parameter test, and 2 parameter will take K beta 1 or K delta, and 1 parameter test we will going to get mu parameter, which is tells us the condition whether it is stable or not. So now if I take the first criteria, or first we will write the equations for the delta K1 and K and B1. So it is K, not K1. Okay, so now we can write the delta, so equation which we already know that S11 S22 minus S12 S21. So this is the delta, so defined by the equation S parameter, so based on the S parameters, and K, so which we can define based on the again S parameter, that is 1 minus S11 square, S22 square, and then plus delta square. So this divided by 2 times S12 S21. So this is what K parameter, and we have B1 parameter which is equal to 1 minus S11 square S22 square minus delta square. So this is what the beta 1. Now what is the condition for stability? So if I take the criteria 1, okay, so the first criteria for stability, or we can take the 3 parameter test. So in this 3 parameter test, what will be the condition is K should be greater than 1. So whatever the value obtained from this equation, K should be greater than 1, and so the other 2 parameters is 1 minus S11 square, so that is S12 S21, so this greater than 1. So in the 3 parameter test only will take the K and this values, so not beta 1 and delta. So beta 1 and delta next they will going to take in the 2 parameter test. So K is greater than 1 and this condition should be greater than 1, and also 1 minus S22 square divided by S12 into S21. So this should be greater than 1. So this is a 3 parameter test. So where we will going to get the stability? Once we get the values which is greater than 1, all these values, then so we will going to get the condition for the stability, that is the first criteria. This is the 3 parameter test. So similarly we have the 2 parameter test. So that is criteria 2 parameter test. That is, so the 2 parameter is K should be greater than 1, so that will be always taken, and the B1 should be greater than 0. So that is the K beta 1 test. Okay, so this will be called it as K beta 1 test. Also we can take K delta test. Okay, so K delta test, where K should be greater than 1 and delta should be less than 1. So this is the condition for 2 parameter test. So once we get this condition, we can say that the amplifier is stable. So where it will the device satisfy any one of these conditions, so then we can say that the amplifier is stable. Okay, so if it doesn't satisfy, so it will going to be unstable. And here, so in any 3 parameter, if one parameter satisfies, so automatically other 2 parameters will get satisfied. So that is actually the parameters which are defined based on the S parameters. Okay, so now we can say for unilateral transistor, so here you have to note the point for unilateral transistor. So since we have S12 equal to 0, okay, so that S12 equal to 0, S12 equal to 0, so then we will get the K infinity. You can see, so here in this condition, so if I take S12 equal to 0, K will become infinity. So that will be equal to greater than 1 always, so then it will be, so the condition is satisfied. So after this, so based on we have to find out delta. So the delta is, you can see S12 is 0, so only we will based on the S11 and S22 we can decide. Okay, so in the K delta test. Okay, so now since K is already, so K is greater than 1 is already satisfied, so definitely this delta will also going to satisfy, so which should be less than 1. Okay, so this requires S11 less than 1 and S22 less than 1. So this is for all passive values, that is all passive values of ZS and ZL. So this is the input impedance, so and out the load impedance for all passive values of ZS and ZL. So this condition should be satisfied. Okay, and one more parameter test is there, that is mu test. So where we have single parameter test, so that mu, So that mu is also defined based on the S parameters, that is 1 minus S11 square, so divided by S22 minus S11 star delta, so plus S21 S2 S12. So the magnitude of S12 plus S21. So this is what the condition for the mu, or the equation of mu. The condition is that, so mu should be greater than 1. So this is the condition for the stability. So single parameter, so we'll check the stability. So whenever there is a mu greater than 1, so then we can say that device is stable, or the amplifier is stable. So now if I take two devices, that is mu A and mu B, okay. So now if mu A is greater than mu B, okay, if mu A is greater than mu B, then we can say that the device A is more stable than the device B. So that is how we will find out the stability of the two devices based on the parameter mu. Okay, so now this is the stability condition. So we can take one problem and we can see how the graphically we can solve the problem. So whether how to find out the stability conditions. So even we can say analytical solutions also. Once we get the S parameters, we can use these equations. Okay, so these equations we can use and we can find out the stability criteria. So if they ask particularly of this analytical solution, only these formulas we can use and you can say that whether it is stable or not. Okay, or if they are mentioned specifically the graphical solution, you have to go for the Smith chart and you have to say, so where is the stable region and where is the unstable region. So now let us solve one problem, such one problem based on the graphical solution. Okay, so take this problem, that is determine the stability of a gallium arsenide FET that has so following S parameters. Okay, so now we have the S parameters. So at 2 gigahertz, so both graphically and mathematically. So that is S parameters at 2 gigahertz, 50 ohm system using both graphical solution and mathematical. Graphically and mathematically. Okay. So now we have to find out graphically as well as mathematically. Now first you can find out what is K1 delta and we can have B1 beta, that is B1. So first find out, so S parameters which will be given by S11 which is equal to 0.89 at an angle minus 60 degree and S21 which is equal to 3.1 at an angle 123 degree. Okay, so and S12 which is equal to 0.02 at an angle 62 degree and S22 which is equal to 0.78 at an angle minus 27 degree. So now, so first we will go for mathematical solution, so later we will going to for the graphical solution. Okay, so now mathematical solution or analytical solution. So first find out what is delta. So the magnitude of delta we can able to find out, or directly you can find out delta, later we can find out the magnitude. So now we can substitute this one, S11 S22 minus S12 S21. Now S11 is 0.89 at an angle minus 60. Okay, so into S22 is 0.78, so at an angle minus 27 degree, minus, so S12 is 0.02 at an angle 62 degree into, so S21 which is 3.1 at an angle 123 degree. So now this is what we are going to get. So now we can, so since if there is any multiplication, so do it in the polar form and division also in the polar form. When there is a subtraction and addition, do it in the rectangular form. Okay. So now since it is in the polar form, just you can multiply the magnitude and add the angles. So what is the value of this one? Multiply this 0.89 into 0.78 and you can add the angles. So you can tell me the answer, what is delta, so in terms of the magnitude and angle, or you can put in the rectangular form also. So what is the value? So this value, it is it 0.694 at an angle minus 87 degree? Are you getting this value? Okay, so you can see, so this also 3.1 into 0.02, so we are going to get, so 0.062 at an angle, so 123 plus 62, so that will give 185 degree. So now this is what, so the delta, and we need to subtract these two. First convert that into the rectangular form and then we can do that. Okay, so we got 0.694 at an angle minus 87 degree and then minus 0.062 at an angle 185 degree. So now we can convert this to rectangular form and then we can do the operation. So convert this rectangular form. What is the rectangular form? So if you do, then only you can able to get it, otherwise it is not possible. Do it. So do this one, at least we can complete the mathematical solution or analytical solution. What is the value? Rectangular form. Anybody? Hello?
So 0.395
Okay.
plus 0.57
Plus
J point.
0.57 J. Is this total delta?
No, sir.
First term. Is this the first term or what? Hello? Is this the first term?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Check it properly whether it is correct or not. Check it. And second term also you can tell. So in the complex mode you can go in the calculator, you have the complex mode. So if you go complex mode, type this, so magnitude and polar, then convert it to the rectangular form a plus bi, so that it will give the result. Check it properly. Okay, so you check it. So I will give the result of this delta. So whatever we computed, so it is 0.69.
0.098.
What?
The total value is getting 0.09.
0 point.
My
What is the delta? Total
0.098.
delta
0.098.
0.098. Is there any angle?
Right.
What is the angle? Just see the angle. Put shift and equals in the calculator, it will show the angle. Okay, so check it these values. So and then you will going to get k value, so which is equal to, so we have 1 minus s11 square minus s22 square plus delta square, so this divided by 2 times s12 s21. So this only will get after calculating the delta, so this will comes out to be 0.66, so you can check it out. So since it is less than 1, the device is unstable. Okay, so no need to check other parameters, so it is, the device is unstable. Also you can check, even if you want, you can check the b1. Okay, so whatever b1, so which is equal to 1 minus s11 square minus s22 square minus delta square. Okay, so even you can check k, delta, beta 1, all the values, and then check whether it is, so k is greater than 1, so b1 is, so which is whatever we saw here, so that is less than, b1 is greater than 0, k1 is greater than 0, b1 is greater than 0, k1 is greater than 1, b1 is greater than 0. So then we can say that the device is, whether it is unconditionally stable. But in this case k is already we are getting, so that is 0.66, which is less than 1, so that's why device is unstable. Okay, so you can later you can put the values of S parameters and you have to calculate, because it will take so much time for converting rectangular to polar and polar to rectangular, so that you need to do. So this is mathematical solution, so we'll see the graphical solution in the next class. So that graphical solution is important, because this you can calculate easily by using the calculator and you can do it, so the parameters. But the graphical solution, you need to plot properly CS, CL, and based on that we have to design the stability region. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll see the graphical solution in the next class. So wait for a minute.